This is the peaceful lake of Dal Val, a man-made lake constructed in the quiet valley town of Livermore, an hour away from the bustling tourist destination, San Francisco. And although the serenity of nature camouflages it, 10 years ago a truly horrifying crime was committed here, when 5 high school filmmakers disappeared from the face of the earth. Even now, the details on the disappearances of the students are shrouded in mystery. 1 week later, a search party composed of friends of the missing found a camera on the ground not too far away from the campsite where the 5 missing kids supposedly camped. After being analyzed for weeks, the tape was released to friends and family. Appearing in multiple shots was a black hooded figure wearing a silvery mask. At first, it was thought to be a hoax, but as the days passed, it began to turn up questions as to what really happened that night.
We all thought it was a joke. Jack was always up to one of his video projects. Everyone just thought that it was just a scheme to jumpstart one of his next horror films.
I, like everyone, thought it was fake. I mean, seriously, some demon ghost thing, some mask running around our own backyard, not gonna happen. But then as time went on, and days went by, it just doesn't seem like. I mean, Jack was that kind of guy who'd be impatient. I mean, he wouldn't hold this out for this long because at some point he's bound to like jump out and just laugh and just put it in our faces, but he didn't.
It's all a bunch of bullshit. I mean, is this paranormal activity? The Blair Witch Project? I mean, you gotta give him some credit for, what, 10 years it's been going on? Him and his buddies are probably held up in Florida just laughing about it. I can't believe everyone believes in this crap.
They produce a grand commercial. There's nothing that lives like 10 miles from my house, let alone something that steals 4 kids. I don't know. Then again, everyone says it's true, so, and there's video evidence.
I mean, nowadays, every kid has their hands on a computer editing software. I mean, my little brother, who's 5, has the gist of Windows Movie Makers down. I mean, take Jack, for example. He shoots and edits movies every day. How do we know that this isn't just something photoshopped or a big hoax?
I don't know if it's true or not. I mean, arguments were there on both sides. Yes, he was a filmmaker and had his hands on programs like After Effects, and he could have easily faked the video, but the main question here is, where is he?
The mysteries and questions that surround the videotape all start with the events that took place the night of December 14th, when 5 friends heading up to the valley all disappeared without a trace. Nothing was to be heard of them until a couple nights later when the kids were supposed to be home. The worried parents of the 5 kids called the police and sent search parties in the area.
They were nowhere to be found. There wasn't any sign of them until they found the tape.
I was part of the group that searched where Jack and all them supposedly camped. We couldn't find anything. There was no signs of temples or anything. Like, they'd been covered up. We weren't getting anywhere, so I went around the side of the camp, and that's where I saw Jack's camera.
We were searching and everyone was getting tired and cranky, and we were making no progress. Then we heard Kyle shouting, and everyone dropped everything and ran over to him. When we played the video, we didn't know what to think.
I didn't get to watch the video when we found it at the campsite, but I could tell from everyone's faces that what they were watching was pretty horrible. I realized I was right when I watched the video several weeks later. I wish I hadn't.
The video was taken to be analyzed by the police for suspects or any signs as to where the kids could be. But what was really happening behind the closed doors? And what was taking them so long?
They had the video for weeks. It just seemed like years. Just for those couple of weeks, the whole town was just silent.
There was a mixture of feelings during those weeks. I mean, most people believed that it was a fake or scam, but that was until the video came back.
When the video came out to the public, everybody was acting weird, especially the police. They wouldn't answer anybody's questions. That actually made people believe that it actually could be true.
Yes, seemed a little sketchy. I don't think it had anything to do with the video.
It's a coincidence. The police spent weeks tampering with it, doing stuff with the video, and came up with no evidence.
The police commissioner gave a speech about how we should mourn the missing. Like, they were already dead, and they'd only been like searching for a couple of weeks. I felt like something was wrong, like something was overlooked.
There was something else to the story. We didn't know what, but they kept investigating. I honestly don't know why.
Authorities continued their search for evidence on the case. They searched the houses of the missing victims, and they came across a peculiar clue.
I was there when the police arrived, and I took them back to where we kept all of our video. They found a weird file, and it didn't look like anything we had shot in the past.
The video showed all of them in this old book. Something that would summon satanic creatures and stuff.
They just set it aside, something about corrupted evidence. That's actually when it all went down.
From the point when the group was looking at the book, there's this silvery masked figure in the back, and each time you looked, it got like closer, closer.
Come on, guys. This reeks of Insidious remake. I mean, the demon getting closer and closer the more comfortable we get.
Normally I would agree that this is getting out of hand, but there was talk from experts that said that they could find no evidence that the video had been tampered with or edited in any way.
The weeks passed and no new evidence could be found. The case was shut down. Was this the end? Everyone thought so. That was until friends of the missing came across the book in a box in J.Y.Frevert's closet.
This is where we found the book. It was in this cardboard box. Carla actually found it. When we were inside, there was all this satanic words in writing. It made us wonder what they were up to.
Jack definitely wasn't into that stuff. I've hung out with him to know that. He probably thought it was like a joke or prop for like the next movie.
Keeps a thing like that in their house. I mean, it's creepy, but like, why does everyone think the two are like connected?
Everyone in the town was feeling pretty uneasy about the real-life horror story. It sparked some fear into some people. I even heard that some neighbors moved away to get away from the victim's house to stay away from the curse.
So much was happening at once. People were panicking, moving away.
You see, this is when I really started to worry. Not because of the priest and all, but I mean, they really don't have any evidence to go off of. Except for that satanic book and that home video. And now that I think about it, they really aren't going to find them.
Everyone was losing faith that the kids will never be found. But one little clue poked itself out to them. And this may have just been the last piece to the missing puzzle.
A map. It was sticking out of the book. It was like an old map before Livermore was actually living.
Apparently, a woman who was accused of witchcraft during the Salem witch trials had run away to where Livermore stands now. She hung herself and sold her soul to Satan.
This was actually a true story. Many movies like the recent Conjuring were based off events like this.
First of all, there's no evidence that these three events even happened. Besides the map being found in the book, there's no historical documents the woman even killed herself, let alone in this area.
The map found showed where supposedly the witch hung herself, but again, this was foul, bogus evidence.
And so we decided to take this into our own hands, to find the tree by ourselves.
A group of friends of the missing went together to find the cursed tree. When asked, the witnesses did not want to comment on what happened that night. Instead, a video was given to us, the last piece of evidence to the mystery of the valley.